We are Legion.
What is up, comic fam, and welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm Mark, and this is a special episode of At Week's End to celebrate Marvel getting back to normalcy with releasing Shang Chi in theaters. I've invited a host of friends to join us tonight on the panel and spoil the hell out of the movie. So before we go any farther, check this out. As promised, there's a lot of people. What is up, everybody?
What's going on, man?
Going down the list real quick, we got new guy Ryan, the comic vet, Mike Becker, Carlito, Nick Skits and Comics, Panda way down there, Mr. Chip Gettler, and Dave from Mark Spector Comics. Strong panel tonight. How is everybody doing?
What's up? What's
Good.
up?
Living the dream.
What's going on? What's going
I
on?
feel like the Shang-Chi Brady Bunch right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or Hollywood
Tomatoes,
Squares.
Alice?
Yeah. Now you are.
Hey! I am the oldest, so it makes sense.
Wait, Nick's not older than you?
No.
I'm just kidding.
I thought I was the oldest.
No.
Only by a couple of dinosaurs.
Yeah,
We only have
exactly.
some of these guys for a short period of time, so real quick, I'm just going to hit the chat real quick and say, hey, what's going on, Chop and Drop? White Shadow Geekdom up in the house. TM Nerdy's up in here. Thanks for stopping by. Carlito, TM, just jumped. Panic, appreciate it. Warlord, how's it going? Paul, hello. Robert's in the chat. Remy Q's in there. So hello to everybody. I don't want to burn too much time going through all of it, but I appreciate everyone hopping in. So let's get right into it. So Marvel just dropped its first theater-only release since pre-COVID with Shang-Chi. They took a gamble on the pandemic numbers, and I don't know. I highly enjoyed the film, so let's just kind of go around and kind of just get first impressions from people. And we're going to start down there with Panda and just work our way around and back up. But what did you think about the movie, Panda?
Man, this was very reminiscent of a lot of the times that my dad used to take me to the movies and we'd go see some Jackie Chan movies. Like one of my favorite all-time movies from Jackie Chan was Rumble in the Bronx. And some of the stuff that they do, like when he's, bouncing around off of refrigerators and stuff like that, opening and closing doors, and the way that he flips through it, like it reminded me a lot about that. So I actually, wanted to check up and see who did the stunt team and stuff like that. And a lot of the members from Jackie Chan's stunt team were consultants or people that were involved in the fight scenes for Shang-Chi. So I was just like, that's it. This is like, it made me go back to a time where, that I had with my dad. So it was awesome. I loved it. A lot of the stuff and the stuff between him and his dad, which I think was such a big miss with the name not being Fu Manchu, because I swear to God, that is one of the most wonderful things that Marvel could have ever done. I know they're trying to right their wrongs or whatever by not calling him Fu Manchu, but
They don't own it anymore either.
oh well.
By the way, there are no mountains in the Bronx, so just want
None?
None? Really? So weird.
And I didn't think about that, but the fight scenes, man, they did feel so familiar, but like so different than anything Marvel's done before, but yet so familiar. Just thinking about like Jackie Chan's First Strike, that was probably the biggest Jackie Chan one for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can definitely see it now that you mentioned that. I didn't even think about looking at who did the choreography.
It was
Yeah,
sorry, it was one of Jackie's go-to choreographers that was the lead choreographer, and he actually passed away after the filming of this of Shang-Chi, and that's why the movie was dedicated to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Allen.
Right.
Yeah, one of the only white guys on Jackie Chan's stunt team, and the dude was phenomenal. If you see a lot of like Police Story and all these other movies that he's involved in, that Jackie Chan is in, Like he brings his stunt team over all the time, and so you'll see them as main characters, side characters. They're always there. They're always involved. And this dude always stood out. I mean, for one, being white and being able to do a lot of the stuff that Jackie Chan was doing. Ooh, that was some badass shit. Stuff.
Yeah, definitely was.
Yeah.
Dude, that
5 minutes.
I
5 minutes, Panda. 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh, we broke 5 minutes, so we're good. We're good.
That's a record for Panda. That's not bad. But in all sincerity, that whole fight scene that kind of just exploded like out of nowhere, out of the calm, when he started like doing all the parkour moves through the railings and everything, and it's not like he would just do like one move. He was literally like fluid, non-stop, move after move, like single shot. It was impressive.
Yeah, and when you look at things like that, those are the things that remind me of Jackie Chan. Like the close combat stuff. Like how do you get out? Like how do you get out of a corner when you're cornered like that? And Jackie Chan, he'll go off one wall, go off the other, and then flip over you. And so that's what it all reminded me of. And so that the first fight scene that we see with Death Dealer, right? Where Shang Chi and Death Dealer are going at it. Before they get to that point, and they're doing all the stuff with the bamboo work on the outside as the scaffolds and everything like that. That was 100% Jackie Chan films. You can see it in Rush Hour 3 and stuff like that, or Rush Hour 2, or one of the fucking Rush Hours. Jesus,
I've been a lot of them. It just abandoned ship. Do you, homie?
Yeah. So no, I'm getting really into it, and just so it's just slipping. But yeah, man. This film really did remind me of these old, the Asian cinema style, Shaolin fight scenes and kung fu movies. And one of the things that I think that they kind of missed with this was I wanted a longer training montage. Like instead of it being, the 1 or 2, 3 days that they were at Tao Lao, have it be like a whole like a month. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Or have it be like a month and a half.
Here and there, just kind of clip the flashback training things a few times.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I feel like after you mentioned like how reminiscent to Rush Hour and other things that you can find with the fight scenes, the very first impression I got when we had the opening scene and you had his dad meet his mom for the first time and how smooth and how beautifully shot that was, my mind immediately went to Jet Li's Hero. Like
that's a good one
wire
too.
work and the colors that were used and how like they used colors as almost like characters in the scenes.
For me, the movie that it reminded me of was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, especially with Michelle Yeoh in it.
Right.
And she was, oh my God, she's been my biggest crush since I was a wee little kid, just watching her move. Like she's so fluid, especially with the Tai Chi that she was using, and like one of the other things that I wish they would have explored more was, the history. So they said they've been in that dimension for how long? Like 4,000 years or something like that.
Yes.
Like the Tao Lao people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've had all this influence of fighting styles that they may have originated from them. You know what I mean? Throughout history. So I would have liked to have seen like during the time of Genghis Khan, like what was being fought or who was teaching who what. And just show, what was the father's name again?
The Mandarin.
Well, no, not that.
Named after an orange.
Trevor Slattery.
Jinglu?
Wu, Wing Wu, or something like that.
Okay, Wing Wong. Okay, so he ended up, they said that he had the power for over 1,000 years. So just to see like the influence of the 10 rings throughout history, like I would have liked to have seen a lot more like assassination attempts like that we heard back in the 60s, or things that we heard back in like the 13th century or whatever it was.
They kind of blew through those in the opening, but they did show you a little coming through the ages. I mean, that was decent of them to do that. And it wasn't a plot heavy movie. It was kind of straight to the point, and it didn't necessarily focus too much on too thick of a plot, which I think worked out good for it, especially for such an introduction, because no one's going around saying, dude, I can't wait for him to make a Shang Chi movie. I need more Shang Chi. Those aren't conversations that are had. So that being the case, this was
well, at least in America, those aren't the conversations.
Not in Nick's house.
No.
What do you think of it? You saw it today.
Yeah, real quick, Panda. So you wanted this movie to be like 5 hours or what?
For me, if it could have been as long as Lord of the Rings, what was the final one? The one where it had like 50
Return of the King?
endings. Return of the King.
The one I haven't seen yet because my brother talked me out of it, even though he loves it. He's like, there's like 5 different endings. I'm like,
right.
Yeah. So man, it was better than I was expecting. So I was real pleased with it. And it, I didn't expect it since I'm like all white like Tyler. I didn't expect it to like really hit me in the feels, but it did, and I think that was the most surprising about it. But I thought it was great, man. And the fight scenes and like everybody's like Panda and Mark said. Someone else was talking about the hero thing too. It reminded them of that.
So, am I the only one that grew up with an Asian father? Is this what I'm getting?
Full white.
Oh, no,
Sorry,
I-
Tyler.
My dad used to think it was Bruce Lee. That's about it.
I'm half Mexican, Panda. That's the best you got here.
Oh, I guess Tyler
Well, I'm
knows
Filipino,
my heritage
so I'm
better
like the
than
Mexicans.
I do. Well,
of,
actually,
of the Asian race. So.
he's kind of right. I'm not full white.
So, Dave, you're kind of like the guy that I think of when I'm in my mind. I'm thinking of like the little details with the MCU and all the little fan theories and spec possibilities. What all did you catch in this movie? Because there was a lot of stuff riddled through it that I caught.
So I watched it late last night, and I watched it in IMAX 3D. So I kind of missed some of the stuff because of the 3D glasses. You miss a little of the stuff there on the sides and stuff like that, like the quick cut scenes that they show in there. So I'll have to rewatch to see if I missed any of the Easter eggs. I did see
How hammered were you? That's a good point. How? Because you just got done celebrating a birthday party with a friend, right?
And I was drinking going into the movie. So I hung out with Kevin for his birthday. His birthday's tomorrow, so we ended up getting a few drinks. You guys saw the post on IG. He posted it. And so I had a few guys going into the movie, so I was feeling pretty good. But I did catch a few Easter eggs in there. I don't know if you saw during the fight tournament, if you want to call it that. There was a little Easter egg there by one of the what's that called from Iron Man 3, Killian Aldridge.
The powering up on the inside.
Extremis.
Yeah. I did notice that.
Oh, did you notice the girl that he was fighting though?
No, who was he fighting?
A Black Widow.
Oh yeah, he was. One of the girls from Black Widow.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so there was 2 Easter eggs in one, a twofer, if you will.
So that's pretty cool. I missed that. I don't know if you guys probably saw the whole going into Tao Lao. I was not a big fan of that. I felt like it didn't do anything for the actual movie. And if you were going to introduce something like that, which is, I don't know, interdimensional, that's going to be adding towards the MCU going forward, you kind of have to go more into detail. I don't know if they're going to do that for the next movie or so, because it's going to be at least a 3-part, Shang Chi movie. What I've been told. Obviously, the big, post credits, him being introduced as an Avenger was pretty cool. If you guys, caught that.
Welcome to the circus.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know what part Katie's gonna be into the actual Avengers. I feel like she doesn't have any.
No, she's gonna be the side character, just like
the new Pepper Pot.
Yeah, Pepper Pot.
She's like
the dry sarcastic tag along.
I did like going back just the beginning of it. I'm a big martial artist guy. I love, if there was only one thing I was expecting going into the movie is good fight choreography, and we did in the movie. Like I said, rest in peace to Brad Allen. He's a legendary fight choreographer in the business. He did a great job with the movie. I grew up watching a lot of Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Ip Man, you name it.
Yeah.
I love watching those.
Donnie Yen is insane.
Donnie Yen is, another great one. And we saw some good Tai Chi. We saw some good Kung Fu. The guy that you saw in Tao Lao, I guess the master, the older guy, I forget his name. He's I guess Yun Wen or whatever his name was. I forget what it was, but he dates back to Bruce Lee from I think it was The Way of the Dragon. He did the stunts for that movie.
Yep.
So he's it was great to just see them tie him in as well and play a good role. Like he wasn't like a small character. He had a good role in the movie. So it was a great movie. I gave it like a B+. It did have some holes in the plot, other things that could have been taken out. I thought the movie was probably too long. 2 hours and 20-ish minutes or something like that. They could have cut out 20 minutes easily. I would have been happy with it. Well,
for me, one of the biggest things that stood out is in the opening when they just kind of say it in passing, but where he actually found the rings in a crater in the wreckage. Yeah. And at least thousands of years ago in a crater in a wreckage, and then you go to the after credit of the movie when the rings are actually calling out like a beacon and they don't know to who. I feel like this is an obvious Easter egg tie-in for Eternals.
Yeah.
Thousands of years ago, you know that the rings are alien tech in the comics originally, right?
Yeah, so, McClellan or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever Fin Fang.
Yeah. It dates to the McLuhan Dragons. And if you read the early Tales of Suspense when he came out, issue 50, which was the first appearance of the Mandarin, they date back to saying that we found the rings in a cave, or we found it in a tomb. That's what that reference was for. Mm-hmm. And they didn't really talk about much more about what the ring's purpose serves. In the comics, each ring is a separate power. It's almost like the Infinity Gems. It has time, space,
magnetism, laser beam, stuff like that in the comics.
All different powers. And they didn't really explore it. They just showed him wearing it and different powers that came with it. But that was pretty much it. So I thought that was a missed opportunity.
I feel like they didn't really dive into it. They kind of teased us with the fact that we're not going to unpack all of this in here, because you saw him do like this straight up energy shot. You saw him doing like little whips and bands, but then you saw Shang-Chi's mom as well as him being able to harness and do more with them that they just kind of teased and didn't really
flirt fight
origin.
Yeah, like that Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Mike, what did you take away from this? What were some of the highlights for you?
Oh, I liked they updated it. It wasn't I wasn't a huge fan of the comic books. I've read some of the highlights to the series, and a lot of the retcon stuff. But I thought the fight scenes were incredible. That's what made the movie for me. I didn't care for the comedy in it as much. I wish they would have stuck to it being kind of a more fun martial arts movie than trying to swing for the Marvel comedy fences.
I don't know.
But overall, I thought it was an above average movie.
Let's not get onto that again.
It's going to live on for a while. You just have to accept it.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. Ronnie Boy Comics, he's another Filipino, and he might actually be able to corroborate my story here. But I mean, I felt really relatable stuff to stuff inside the movie, like when that kid was shirtless being beaten by all those other kids or all those other people during the training and stuff like that. That's every Asian parent. Like anytime any of us Asian kids get in trouble, that we just get whipped. So
they strip you? They strip you and whip you?
Yeah, just whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, my parents aren't Asian, and I got whipped many times. So
they have to know that it's hitting skin is the reason why. But they want to know that it's going to be underneath the shirt. So when you go back to school, there's no bruises, there's nothing that you can see. But as soon as you take off that shirt, there's welts, there's everything, there's bruises, there's their name tattooed on your back. See, Ronnie Boy agrees. Look.
This is some next level stuff.
No, that's
Yeah,
just
I know,
Asian parenting. That's all it is.
Are you
I
sure that's
watched
just
T-
Asian parenting? Because
I think that's just a
Mexican grandmas
generational
do
thing,
that
man.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then
Yeah, so
everybody
I-
should have felt relatable at that point. Be like, oh my gosh, Shang-Chi.
Yeah. Even that
I
little
get it.
Nick.
I would not want to go back home either.
So Panda, I watched TiVo's little non-spoiler review, and he basically was saying the same thing. So
Who?
TiVo, Lords of the Long Box, man. Come on.
Oh, I haven't gotten to it yet. I haven't seen their stuff yet. I know. I'm
They're old
sorry.
school, man.
No, I'm really trying not to watch any spoilers or anything like that. Or
No,
any
it's
kind of-
non-spoiler. He didn't spoil anything.
Oh, it's a non-spoiler. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. I was just flashback into when I was getting beat as a child.
Did you reach out to me and ask for like an honest opinion on the movie because you said your wife was kind of on the fence and didn't necessarily want to go watch a cornball movie today, but you talked her into it?
Yeah, we hated it.
Awesome. Tell us more. I don't want to hear anything you liked about it. Tell us only the negative side.
Yeah, so I thought it was corny with all the stereotypical. No, I'm just kidding, man. It was great, actually. I really did love it. Although I gotta say, the karaoke was a little bit like, okay, come on now, really?
Oh, dude, I'm doing karaoke.
Introduced Trevor Slattery back into the movie. Everything
Yeah,
was fair game.
yeah,
Everything was
exactly.
fair game. Morris,
no,
Morris.
Wait, what are you talking about? You can see him too. Oh, thank God!
Oh my God! I thought it was Lucy. That was awesome. That was awesome. I thought it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. It was a good story. I mean, it was one of those that you didn't have a whole lot of. There wasn't a lot of meat on it, but it flowed very nicely. I thought the choreography for the fight scenes was just amazing. As well as, I mean, it wasn't so over the top that it looked totally fake, like totally rigged, where they're, but you almost had a little bit of Matrix in on it. It seemed like that. There was some of that with the Matrix stuff. When he's out there and he's getting ready to fight, and then all of a sudden she comes out and she spreads his hands out and says, "No, go tight," go with the Tai Chi type of stuff, or it's called Tai Chi. I was like, oh, that's badass. Yeah, I was like, okay, I get it now. It clicked. It's like, oh yes, definitely. You don't need to have that strength in order to defeat someone like that and come in aggressive. So I thought that was neat. I also love the fact that they did a lot of little Easter eggs in it. The character that was filming him on the bus, coming from the Spider-Man show, where he was
do a flip.
He was do the flip guy.
Well, the whole thing with Tai Chi is that they tried to harness the energy around them and then expel it back out. In a positive or whatever way form that they get it. And so the way that they dance around doing that yin yang thing, she's able to take his energy and then expel it back to him without having to use up any energy on her part. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I like the fact that it seemed as though in those scenes, it was more in touch with the entire everything, nature, in touch with everything around them. Whereas versus all I got is these rings and that's all I care about is fighting with. And that makes me the powerful person. And in that, her world, it was like, oh, I've got everything. I mean, I've got the ground, I've got the, the leaves, I got everything. That's, the wind, everything is on my side. I thought it was really neat. So,
yeah. Quick question
I was going to say just quickly. I was just going to say I do agree with you. I also Pan on the Jackie Chan thing. I thought it was awesome that they did a little homage to Jackie Chan with the jacket thing in the actual bus. I was like, oh yes, awesome.
Yeah, that's Mr. Nice Guy right
cool.
there. Yeah,
that was awesome. That was very cool. So
that bus fight,
we loved it.
Yeah.
So did anybody else?
Nice guy my whole life where he's cooking and he's like, don't get egg on your face. And he's throwing the egg.
Did anybody else get the feeling like when the dad, Wingnut, whatever his name is? Wingding. He when he punched that door, did anybody else think like, holy shit, what if he's actually correct and she's actually on the other side, like laying on some sort of tomb or something like that? You know what I mean? Like some slab of concrete. And I was just thinking in my head, like, that would be some really good Shyamalan and, stuff that happened, get that twist in there. And I was like, ooh, I wonder.
That's like some village Shyamalan. That's stupid.
Am I Shyamalan?
Stupid Panda.
What a twist.
But that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was just like, yo, if they do this and then all of a sudden like now they're fighting all the Tao Lao people. Like, how epic of a fight scene would that have been? Like, that would have been really cool. Like all the Pokemon that showed up and started fighting everybody and stuff like that.
Ninetales, yeah.
The Ninetales,
Ninetales,
the Foo
yeah.
Dogs.
The Ninetales, yeah.
You know, my kids
Don't
were
even
like,
lie. That was Ninetales.
That was Ninetales
totally
for sure.
Yeah,
totally
100%.
Pokemon Ninetales.
No,
Totally was.
you know, the Foo Dogs.
And I don't even know.
My kids were asking, like, what are those? And I said, you know, when you go to the Chinese restaurant buffets, like those things that are standing like outside of those things, those are Foo Dogs. And they're like, yeah, oh, we know what Foo Dogs are. I was like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But it took the Chinese buffet to jog their memory.
So, did you think his mom went to like a Lazarus pit or something, Panda? What the hell?
No, I don't think it's some Lazarus pit. I think honestly she's gone. I mean, they have the body and everything. I mean, spirit could live on in their heart or inside those jade pieces, which they left in the eyes of the dragon. So now they're fucking gone. They're gone. So Jesus.
All bets are off.
So
what was the over under on Panda anyway? I took over.
Did anybody take the trifecta because you just cashed?
Why would you take over?
I'm off to Vegas to cash in.
Nick, you saw it twice at this point.
Twice at this point, yeah.
First time by yourself, second time with your son. So you're the perfect person to ask. So this movie was not plot heavy, but it was message heavy. And it was a total father-son movie dealing with grief and loss. Like, what did you take away from it since you actually went with your son to see it?
Like, for me, what I enjoy, it's kind of like a like and dislike at the same time, because you kind of always can agree with the Marvel villains.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can completely relate to what he was going through and why he wants to do what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they never last long enough to give you more of what, they just tell you that quick story and then they're out. My problem with this movie, and you never go into the single Marvel movies thinking it's going to be a story detail oriented thing. That's what you got to pay attention to. What I look for are Easter eggs, which I didn't see many in this movie, and what could tie into the future. So I wonder already if the sister is going to have dealings with the chick from, the power broker from Bucky and
Elaine from Seinfeld. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
No, that's not the power broker.
No, the blonde
Agent 13.
Yeah, Agent 13's the power broker.
Mm-hmm.
So I wondered that. I also kind of hope in the future to see the 10 Rings assassins fight the Dora Milaje.
That would be cool. That would be dope.
Condoms.
As a kung fu fan, I'm dating back to Bruce Lee and the Shaw Brothers movies. Fighting was excellent. Even though I think they went to the slow-mo face cam a little bit too many times, because it got corny to me after like the second time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But graceful was definitely the word for the first meeting between the father and the wife.
Yeah.
No
And
doubt.
for me,
The flirt fight, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely dated back to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but in that regard, it was more believable.
Yeah. Well, they weren't on top of the bamboo shoots, like just running off the leaves.
Yeah.
I mean, but they, it really, like, I totally get what you mean by it being more believable.
It was definitely more organic that way.
Mhm.
Bus fight was phenomenal.
Mhm.
The guy from Spider-Man,
that was awesome.
The Instagrammer was hilarious.
Yeah.
Damn social media people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he say?
YouTubers.
I took Taekwondo back in the day, so I will
I'm
be
gonna
your
rate this,
reviewer,
I'm
and
gonna
I'm going to
rate
rate this.
Yeah.
Gonna rate this.
What kind of got me annoyed
Martial arts.
watching the movie, I kind of had questions that they wound up addressing later, but I kind of got annoyed. But I was like, well, what happened to the wife? And then they addressed it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to who did he go to kill? What happened there? But they all addressed those questions.
It's just because you're impatient, Dick. Just
No,
admit it.
well,
You can't get a box in the mail without opening it right away.
Hey, but at least when somebody asks me my opinion, Chip, I tell them the truth right off the bat.
Very
I don't lie.
I actually enjoyed that kind of news formatting.
Ding, ding.
Wow.
Where I lie.
Nick just
I
took
lie
that
about my
knuckleball out
opinion.
to left field.
Yeah.
Trevor
I enjoyed
Slattery,
that formatting and everything.
Trevor Slattery was great. Some of the CGI and the animals I could have did without. And honestly, I think they went too overboard with the dragon fighting the kaiju at the end.
That was awesome.
I thought it was so played out by that point, but I was just like, you know what? If I could go to my favorite restaurant and watch their stained glass like fight each other, like I would do it. I'd watch it. You know what I mean? And that's what I was doing. So
yeah, for me it was too much. And finally, with the ending credit scenes, I thought to see that little pulse and then to hear Carol say she's got to go somewhere, I'm like, there's no way those two aren't related. And I want to know who that is now. So
they've been pulsing the whole time, though, not just in that moment.
Yeah, no, it was pulsing, but I think they showed it at that time to kind of correlate what the history of and what Carol's doing at the time. So I think
I took it as a callback to Endgame when she did the exact same thing in the exact same kind of virtual meeting, and then Bruce even made the comment she does this all the time.
Yeah,
I was glad she left.
Yeah. I also like the fact that I like the fact that he was in the sling too, because it kind of tied
Inhuman.
With the gauntlet.
I hated that as a Hulk fan. That makes zero sense.
That he's not in the
he said it's mostly Gamma.
That makes no sense at all.
That is good. But the way they address it, though, I think too. I just lost my damn point. They will get to where the ring.
Second time in your life you've done that.
1.5 times he's done.
Wow.
Holy shit. Wow, man.
Hey, on that, I gotta go, guys. I'll see you guys later.
Panda.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Have a good one, buddy.
All right, later,
I
guys.
think they will address where the rings are from eventually, as will they address what happened to Bruce.
So
I saw some weird video today in Screen Crush where they're trying to tie that into how the Maestro might pop up. Who knows?
Do you think the rings will lead to Fin Fang Foom?
I thought that was who was going to be behind the wall.
Right.
100% me too, Mark. 100%.
But I thought
Mephisto was gonna be
But it ended up being an old Thor. That's an old Thor villain, right? That thing that was behind.
Yeah.
I
I didn't know.
It was like a Dragon Cthulhu.
Yeah.
So, Chris,
It's a fear monger.
What are your thoughts on it and everything?
Again, the whole father-son thing really played up to me. I lost my old man 12 years ago, 13 years ago. But I got to admit, the man who played Shang-Chi's father, to me, he'll be the Mandarin. I thought he did a terrific job. He had that level of sinisterism right behind him that always was just kind of flickering right there, even though when he, put the rings away, they were telling the stories of him falling in love with his wife and having children. I always thought there was something, dark in the shadows with him. And I thought he did a tremendous job. And then when Michelle Yeoh showed up and we got to see a little bit of her fighting style, although it wasn't that much, I was quietly pleased by that because I think she's a tremendous actress too. But overall, I thought it was good. For those that don't know, myself, Ryan, and Mark spoke last week and I said to them, as a Spider-Man fan, I feel it's kind of sad that of the next three Marvel movies, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, and Spider-Man, it's Shang-Chi that I was most excited for. It delivered. I thought the third act was a little long, maybe a little over the top. Boring from the never-ending story. We're just going to ride this out, literally ride it out till the very end. And I thought that they used Bing Kingsley properly for what it was. I like the whole Planet of the Apes thing that he played into. I thought he delivered that beautifully.
That was insane.
Yep. To go get a world-class actor and Bing Kingsley and just let him kind of have fun with the character. Good for them. And I thought the one thing I thought he was missing was that long beard that he had in Iron Man 3 when he was the imposter Mandarin. I thought he looked really good that way. So when they kind of had him look more like Keith Richards this time around, I thought it was just okay. But then that whole Planet of the Apes conversation he had talking about his mom and that the apes or the monkeys were just terrific actors, on horseback. I thought that was just brilliant. Good for them to let them have a little bit of freedom with that.
Hey,
whether it was scripted or not, I don't know.
I think his beard was gone by the time they did that Marvel short at the end of Iron Man 3 or whatever that was in the special features.
So
Okay.
did any of you guys know he was going to be in it? Because I didn't.
No.
Yes.
No.
I can't
I
believe
didn't
they
know.
kept that secret. That's
I didn't-
awesome.
Yeah, I was expecting it because of, again, that Marvel short where the 10 rings, the real 10 rings actually come and get him out of prison to take him to the Mandarin.
Yeah.
So
That's why I
Okay.
thought he would be in it, is because the Ten Rings kidnapped him.
See, for me, like my most hated thing in the MCU was Iron Man 3 and what they did to the Mandarin. But that said, I do like how they kind of adjusted that a little bit.
They salvaged it for sure.
Made it a little bit more acceptable. And also, I'll admit it was kind of funny seeing him in there, but like at the same time, I felt like it might have cheapened the movie overall a little bit. And that, I don't know, I kind of had a split feeling on it. Like,
well, they used him a lot too. It wasn't like we didn't just
like
end with him. Like he became a key player for the third act.
If you would have just stayed in the like cave thing, I would have been cool with it. But I thought he was used a little much. But
so maybe like a Red Skull kind of cameo.
Yeah.
Anybody?
I'm looking. Go ahead.
So I was about to say, did anybody like the Mary Jane shot Katie took with the arrow at the end?
I thought of that as soon as they put an
I knew
arrow
it
in
was
her
gonna
hand. I'm
happen.
like, you know what's going to happen? She'll deliver the kill shot in the end. You know,
it's Marvel, man. That's just what they do.
I like the fact they poke fun at her. They're saying like, the day before I picked up an arrow for the first time, and the next day I saved the day. Like, well, good for you. You know, like good that you're pointing that out because that's exactly what we all thought.
They like to do that, so I mean,
they should kill her character off.
To keep Ryan over here from feeling completely left out, Ryan, weigh in on some of this. What
Ryan
are your
feels left
thoughts?
out. Oh no!
It's now getting to him.
Hashtag humble hater, everybody. Let's go.
I don't have anything to add or detract from.
What?
I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen the trailer. So,
Oh.
As far as I know, this guy's name is Shang Chi, and he knows some kung fu or something.
A little bit.
Boom! There it is.
They made him kind of actually have powers.
Yeah.
Which in the books he never did.
I had listened to the Wednesday poll list. Their episode this past Wednesday was they covered some recent, I think it was a pretty recent Shang-Chi series, like the first trade of it. And they talked about that in that book, how like some iterations apparently he uses more like mysticism and magic kind of stuff. And then other iterations it's more like technology based, a little more like Black Panther-ish. And so they were kind of annoyed because in this particular volume that they read, they kind of mixed both things and not very well on either side of that. So I was kind of interested to see how the movie plays that out.
So I'll be the first to say I never read any of the comics, none of them, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I like Doug Mensch, so I've read like his part, in which he wrote 100 of the
125 or something.
Yeah, no, not 20. He didn't get to 125. The last 5 were written by somebody else because that's when him and Jim Shooter got into that headbutt and he got fired from, or he left Marvel for DC. He's actually the guy that did Nightfall and whatever event led into No Man's Land.
I thought that maybe they mixed up some Iron Fist in there too, but the whole the path to this city only appears, once a year, and it's kind of like it's kind of like
the whole Kung Lao. King Long, Kung Long. The take that I got from some of the Easter eggs was when we had the whole Abomination scene there.
Yeah,
I kind of thought that he was that maybe Doctor Strange is putting together a Dark Avengers team, and that's why the Abomination was being trained the way that he was.
You mean the Mephisto Doctor Strange or the regular Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like which one you think it is.
But I thought maybe it's a Thunderbolts thing, or like obviously the Abomination would be a part of a Thunderbolts if they're going to do it. But I just thought I'm forgetting that character's name.
Wong?
Pardon?
Wong?
Yeah, Wong. Pardon me. And if Wong is in charge of putting together some sort of team like that, and that's where I went when I saw it, because of the fact he mentioned training to him,
Yeah.
and then brought him back to exactly, or he traveled with him when they left the fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
But
it was pretty funny to see that. It was like a fixed fight, and
right,
they were making all money on the side.
Yeah, exactly.
to finance whatever they were doing, right? And yeah.
Can I just
And
say how much I love Wong? Because that guy is awesome.
Yeah. His Hotel California is pretty good too.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
But I know
Freaking
the first
Eagles, man.
I know it'd be too easy to say, like when Banner talked about it being a beacon going out to somewhere. Obviously, it'd be easy to say, yeah, it's Galactus, because we know that Feige has the rights to the Fantastic Four again. But whenever they bring in Galactus, we know that that's the running out of bad guys, because he like, who would be beyond him than the Beyonder? Like, that'd be the only way I think that they could carry it on. Like, they gone Thanos, now we're gonna get a little bit of Kang, but Kang isn't Thanos. Let's be honest.
Maybe.
And do they want to do Apocalypse though?
Said Annihilus.
Oh, Annihilus. I'm sorry. But yeah,
that's what I thought. When
it was
when they were talking about how when he used the rings, it sent out like cosmic energy or whatever.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the Eternals, how that being in Earth or whatever that's growing or whatever, it must have got a blast of cosmic energy from that or something. So I don't know. But
Are you talking about the Celestials?
So
yeah.
That's my theory, that you're gonna get probably in the second film that the origin of the rings comes from Tao Lao. It's their dimension, and it's not going to be from a cave or it's power that they harness from their dimension, and it's celestial in nature.
Nice.
But that's why they're not registering it on any of their tech platforms. Wong is not familiar with the tech, and it's because it's they've never seen. It's celestial from Tao Lao.
Now, Tao Lao is basically just Chinese Asgard, right?
Yeah.
In the comics.
Yeah.
In the comics.
Yeah.
That's all it was. It was.
I think they're going to go more with I'm still on board with them going with the Living Tribunal, and the rings come from the Macklins, which the Living Tribunal has a lot of influence there too.
You thinking it's far? That's
interesting.
Because his staff, right, was used in
the staff of the Living Tribunal. Yes.
Right. So I think they're going to go that way.
Yeah, I'd love it to be Living Tribunal. That'd be way up there, cosmic energy.
Cool. Yeah, because then I got a comic book that's actually worth some money.
Spec.
How are you doing tonight, Joe?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for inviting me on. I was not going to come on because I'm in a very rare state that people normally don't see me in.
Oh, you're not drunk?
Sober. Yeah, I don't drink on Sundays, so it's.
I sent Joe a message saying, "You want to hop on?" He said, "No, not tonight." So then I sent him the link. I said, "Well, here's the link in case you come to your senses." And then here he is. I'm glad you can make it. What is your overall takeaway? Your experience watching it, getting to actually go to a movie and a theater and enjoy a movie. What do you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I've come to the realization that we're never going to get that epic feeling that we got in Endgame and all that. And I've come to that realization. So just accept it for what it is. Cramming Shang Chi into a Mandarin story, I just felt that, that they've never done anything together. We're just cramming those together. That's fine. Keep them with Asian context. I didn't see this as a father and son story, though, or even a family story. I saw this more along of a philosophies of Sun Tzu and Laos, right? The two different philosophers that believe in very different things, and that was very prevalent throughout the movie. The whole flow of motion and energy versus the heart impacting. Both of them spoke on this in rhetoric all the time. So I kind of looked at it in that aspect. I thought that was really good. And of course, yin and yang, any kung fu movie is going to always do with the yin and yang and the internal conflict. This being Shang Chi, who, again, mother, right, represented Laos, dad represented Sun Chao. So I thought that was interesting, the conquering versus the existing. So I found that to be interesting, and that's how I just kind of viewed it. Some parts of it didn't need to happen. Didn't push the narrative. It just happened to stick it in there. But for the most part, it was a good movie.
Nice. So, what's your big philosophical takeaway from it?
Exactly what it is. The art of war versus Laos. Peace, harmony, flow of motion. That's his whole thing. And then, of course, the art of war, conquering and taking things over as quickly as possible with as much threat and violence as you need to. That's that's in everybody.
So everybody's agreed that the dad's just an amalgamation of Fu Manchu and Mandarin, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely Fu Manchu. They couldn't put it in there, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, they don't own it anymore, as I said earlier. And I mean, they would never pay for it. They paid for it once, in like 2010 when they retconned his name to Zhang Zhu.
Yeah.
And then they've left it alone since. They'll never pay for that again.
And that's the other thing too. They were afraid because obviously China is the big market.
Yeah.
And they wanted to pay respect, obviously, and they were very wary because they were thinking, China was not even going to show the movie in general. And
imagine that books from the 1920s to the 1950s were offensive. I can't believe it.
Shoot, there's stuff from the 80s and the 90s that are offensive now.
Well, Fu Manchu was a character in some dime store novels from like 1915 to 1950, whatever. He was like an Asian supervillain.
Yeah.
And they had like a James Bond guy fight him. Then Marvel bought the rights to him and made him Shang-Chi's dad. And Shang-Chi chased him for like 100 issues of comics and then finally caught him.
Yeah, and just like how I thought that dragon was Fin Fang Foom, and they couldn't even call him that. They had to call him the Great Protector.
Now, did y'all catch it when they first rode into Tao Lao and that horse dragon creature stopped in front of the car and just looked at him? And in the face, it looked just like Fin Fang Foom.
It did. Yes, 100%.
And when it showed that, I looked at my dad and said, okay, we're getting warmer. Because the whole time I was just wanting to see what they might pull off with Fin Fang Foom. And then they kind of bailed on that. So that was really the only letdown for me. I had zero expectations for this movie. Not that I didn't expect it to be good or want it to be good. I just had no reason to expect it. Just coming with zero. It's kind of like when I watched Invincible after not reading the book. It was just experiencing what you could tell me whatever. I'm going to accept it. So I'm glad that I didn't read any of the books.
I thought it was a good bounce back from Black Widow.
Yeah,
Black Widow was down.
Yeah, I thought it was a good bounce back from Widow.
Wow.
But
I completely disagree with you guys, but
what I want to know is, if those rings give him so much power where he can fight a girl in the dust and the dirt and not get his white clothes dirty.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
How does that happen?
That's Clorox clean.
Ancient Chinese secret, man.
The seventh ring controls bleach.
Clorox.
So I did think the casting for this movie was almost perfect for all the characters, except for Katie. She was a little overbearing, but the casting for his dad was by far the best. For the Mandarin, I thought that was just spot on. Like you know what? With him.
For me, honestly, I think Iron Man 3 really ruined Ben Kingsley because I think his acting and the way he plays a bad guy would be perfect for that role. But seeing the physicality that they needed for the character, that I don't think maybe he wouldn't have been able to pull it off. But just that sinister.
Well, if you're going classic Mandarin, he would have been fine for it. But it's not like the Mandarin. I mean, he's old in the classic comic version of him. He's not like a strapping young lad who's ready to go fisticuffs with you. He's letting his rings do all the work.
Yeah, let me just say those trailers for Iron Man 3 were the biggest hoodwink ever. And it pissed me the F off. Because he was so menacing in those trailers, man.
Blew up his house, man.
Like, how did they get him for Iron Man 3 with that script? Like, did he owe people money? Was it
I'm
gambling
sure he
debts?
loved the different take on it or something. Like the unexpected.
It was just a really.
I don't think anybody loved that script. Come on,
Well,
none of them
Words,
looked
just
like
he
playing
obviously
himself,
did.
They had a lot of good actors for that movie. Guy Pearce is a good actor too.
Well, you
Yeah,
gotta think
but
of
I mean, you have to remember
we
that was
talk
a.
about how Shane Black
parody.
is ruining all my franchises: Predator,
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Agreed.
Terrible.
Remember
I feel
where
like
the
Guy
MCU
Pearce is
was
who
though,
you
as
get when
far
you
as
can't
like.
afford Johnny Depp.
I mean,
What were
at
you
that
gonna say,
point,
Ryan?
just think about it like from the perspective of an actor, like getting a job where the MCU was. This was not very far in, so what they were looking at is like, okay, if I'm an actor and I get a job with the Marvel movies, like I'm paid for like ever, you know. So that's probably a big part of what drew a lot of those big name actors into that movie. Was the MCU was young, but it looked like so much potential for having a job forever, you know, which is an actor's dream.
Steady royalties, right?
The end with like Seth Rogen and James Franco, where it's the end of the world, and they're all playing exaggerated versions of themselves.
Yeah, this is the end.
Yeah, I feel like
I
Ben
thought so.
Kingsley literally plays that character had he been in that movie, but in Iron Man, he's playing an extremely exaggerated version of himself.
It's a burned out actor.
He's so
I'll
good.
have to watch that.
But yeah, it was good. So we're rolling up on an hour here. Like I said, I'm doing this tonight a little different. It's going to be Shang-Chi talk. But do any of y'all have anything else y'all want to go over, add to it, or whatnot?
Yeah, I want. So when the father was getting the whispers from the dead wife, did any of y'all think, like at the same time before the ending, obviously, that that the whispers that were going to Scarlet Witch might have been from the same place? To try to get her to come over there.
Wow.
Because I kind of thought that until the ending, and then I don't know, it's kind of over by then. But
yeah,
I was like, whoa, maybe those kids that she was hearing weren't really her kids. But
I thought for sure what they were going to do is when they saw like the glimpses of the creatures with the tentacles and the wings, the soul eaters, I thought they were going to go with the Hydra, the alien. Remember when Hydra worshipped that? I thought they were going to go that route with it. And I was like, oh, really? Like, don't we have enough alien stuff? So I was kind of happy not to see that.
We need more aliens.
So
this is the galactic phase.
Fair.
The one thing they didn't talk about much, which I thought was that big villain at the end that they had. And obviously, like the voices that we heard behind the wall go back to the comics. Those are the Fear Lords.
Okay. Yeah, that's what that thing's called. I've been sitting here trying to remember it.
And that has big ties into Doctor Strange and the multiverse.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
and Thor.
Yeah, and Thor.
Yeah.
Yep. So like Nightmare is an example of a Fear Lord.
Yep.
Even though they killed that villain there, you can't kill somebody who's a Fear Lord. You know, there's always somebody who's empowered by fear that they grow off that. So, you know, I thought that was a missed opportunity there, but that they could have added to it. But yeah, those are part of the Fear Lords.
Cool.
Nice.
So speaking of China and stuff, like with all that, I've heard, I don't know if this is true, obviously it's a rumor, but that they're kind of mixing Nightmare and Mephisto because of the Chinese market for the next movie to be the villain.
Yeah,
So it won't actually be like a solid one or the other or both or whatever. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Dave? Come on.
Mephisto isn't coming.
What? He's coming, man.
I hope at this point he never comes. And I even own a Silver Surfer #3.
That's not what she said.
And I'll tell you the reason why.
Ryan, you need to get checked out, buddy.
Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan.
Way to remind people you're here.
I tried.
Savage.
Nailed it.
And the reason why I personally think Mephisto, as his actual character, will not appear in the MCU is because of the big, you know, ties to the Chinese market. And they don't want to see anything devil related in the market. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah, so they're gonna do like an amalgamation, kind of like they did
probably
with
an
Mandarin.
amalgamation, like you said.
So,
And that's why they won't put Mephisto in it.
I'm kind of bummed, dude. I want Mephisto for sure.
I do too. I love the character.
Yeah. I think he would tie well into any Spider-Man story, any Fantastic Four story,
yeah.
especially Doctor Strange and the Scarlet Witch. Like it's a big fail, but I understand where they're coming from. And then again, with Disney actually greenlight the whole idea of a straight up devil. So.
I still feel like there's so many characters that no one's running around saying, when are we going to get the next story with Kang or blah, blah, blah. But as soon as he shows up, you see everyone posting online. They finally are doing my favorite character justice. I love him to death.
Well, there's a couple I'd like to see. Like I'd like to see Gladiator brought in, Terrax. I'd like to see them just give us some of the the heralds from Galactus without Galactus first. Like just that the heralds show up and they have to try and take him on, and they lose to that. And oh, by the way, now he's coming. But we all got those E-level villains or characters that we like.
I really want to stop in for a minute. Love you guys.
It kind of benefits Marvel to not use Mephisto right now as well, though, because the amount of like speculation and buzz
Mark, can you mute Ryan, please?
Existing.
Just kidding, Ryan. Go ahead.
It's just like it helps their marketing, because it keeps people talking about stuff and speculating. So until like all of the Mephisto speculation dies down, they really don't have that much incentive to use him.
Yeah.
About the time everybody gets tired of talking about him, then they're gonna like drop him, and everybody's like, "Oh, we had already forgot."
And the problem is, there's so many good villains out there. You don't have to put Mephisto in there.
Like Stiltman.
Hey, that's one of my favorites.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Stiltman is one of my favorites. He gets taller. How do you beat that?
Let's see some Paste Pot Pete.
Yeah, Paste Pot Pete. I really like what Joe said though about people, like, not you guys are all freaking awesome and have realistic expectations, but like I think people in general audience, they kind of need to remember that like this isn't Infinity War and Endgame. You need to like temper your expectations.
Yeah, this is just
the next
reset
phase,
button.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I think that the Disney Plus series did a good job of putting my expectations in check. Because I thought that they were going to take advantage of the first ever like movie universe television platform kind of thing and really push the envelope to bring that MCU audience over. Like, you're going to come watch these shows because you enjoy this content. They're like, no, we'll play it safe. We'll play it safe.
What's the next Marvel?
I don't know. Loki. I thought Loki was terrific.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, like, we got Photon out of Scarlet Witch. I know that was a little bit of a disappointment. Falcon and Winter Soldier was nothing happened. Like nothing happened. Yeah.
All of the shows, where the MCU stands at the beginning of them, it practically stands at the end of them. Like they're not required watching material to understand.
I disagree. The end of Loki, I think, is required.
Keep in mind, you're watching a show about a character that's not even relevant to the MCU movies. And anything that happened in Loki, I promise you, will get explained or shown in a way that's specific for people who never watched it.
Right, of course, yeah.
It's like a tie-in for a Marvel event. It adds to it if you watch it. Takes away nothing if you don't.
When does Eternals come out?
Not soon enough.
When? So it's going to be Eternals and then Spidey?
Yeah. Dude, Spider-Man's supposed to be Christmas, is it not?
Yeah.
I think that's what pushed Venom back, is them not wanting to ride on the heels of that or try to compete with it. They're going to try to pick up on the back end hype of it.
I didn't even think about it until I saw this, and I was like, wait, Spidey's coming.
Nice. Yeah. Who did that?
When you can't afford Adi Granov, you hire his sister.
Oh.
That's what I did.
I love Adi, dude.
That's his sister, Dejani.
He's awesome.
Granov. She's like about a fifth the cost, so I went for it.
No, Superman was not in the movie.
Superman was not in it.
I'm not even going to feed into it.
Yeah.
But what Chris said, like, I'm opposite. Out of all three movies, Spider-Man is the most hype for me. Like, I can't wait till that one. I'm stoked.
What I meant by that though is I was underwhelmed by the trailer. I thought they really played up the whole corny aspect of the spell being done. I get that they had to give us what happens for the whole idea, of multiple dimensions and new and old or different characters being introduced into the MCU. But we all could tell Doc Ock wasn't talking to Tom Holland. We knew that. We know
Right.
that. And the whole dropping of the pumpkin bomb. Okay, we knew that was going to
That
happen.
might
It was
not
just-
even
I was
happen in
just
the movie. It could
right.
be
I
a
know.
huge
Yeah,
misdirect.
you can't believe
Right.
the trailers.
You
But
cannot believe
I was
that.
just underwhelmed. I'm just sick and tired of seeing Spider-Man with his goddamn mask off. Keep the damn mask off. He's
Dude, that's how it was with Deadshot and Suicide Squad. So that's all I gotta say about it.
I know Tom Holland's a pretty kid. I get it, but keep the goddamn mask on when he's wearing the suit.
Whoa. So we're not really talking about pretty kids.
Whoa. Yeah, kick him out of here.
All right. Well, back to Chris. I think the post-credit scene in that movie is going to have some major ramifications. I don't doubt that Miles will be shown at least that much in the post-credit scene in that movie.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Well,
I think he'll be
Miles
in the
was already
post-credits.
introduced, though. Mm-hmm.
I think he'll be in the. I think Nick's right on that one.
They'll give some point to that. I mean, they've already put the Prowler in that universe.
Yeah.
They're going to give, and now they have the multiverse. They're going to give some.
So does Sony have Miles fully,
Sony owns
or
Miles.
does Disney have
Sony
Miles?
Sony has Miles.
Sony does. Yeah, they're definitely gonna try to go for it.
All right, forget what I
Doesn't
just said.
matter who owns it anymore. They're just gonna make money.
But at the very least, we know that Feige controls the creative, right? Sony just has distribution and makes all the money off of it.
And merch. Don't they have merch?
I think
Okay.
Marvel has the merch.
Okay, well then
Yeah.
Marvel's winning that game.
So, well, I mean, Sony rakes in some bucks, dude.
Yeah, well, dude, it doesn't matter how much of you can set a world record tenfold with a movie release, and you're still not touching merch on the franchise.
Yeah,
I mean, it is Spider-Man, so
Mm-hmm.
him and Batman, the merch. I want to see total sales of merch for both of them. That'd be
And
great.
walk into any Walmart, Target,
Yeah.
GameStop, you can't walk into anywhere without seeing Spider-Man, Batman, Superman. It doesn't. If you never made another
Superman.
if you never made another movie with Spider-Man, Superman, any of them, they would still live the high life on merch alone.
Oh, absolutely.
This is not all I'm going to be known for.
Superman, Batman, but Spider-Man is hyphenated, so it's
Yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah.
Wasn't there pretty recently like a report on like owning just the rights to the character of Batman alone is worth something like $4 billion
Over $1
or
billion.
Oh,
something?
it's gotta be ridiculous.
Yeah, did you guys
Like
see
just
that?
to own the rights to the even all of his rogues gallery and all the other stuff that goes with that.
Who posted that Target toy exclusive that was modeled after McFarlane? Did you guys see that?
What was it?
It looked. What's the classic McFarlane cover? Is that 438?
423?
Oh, the Batman one?
423.
The
Detective?
multiverse?
No, it's
You
just
know what?
Batman. 423.
It's a Batman issue.
And it's from the interior where he's standing by the graveside of his parents with the cake flowing out. Yeah, that was wicked.
Can't see it.
You know, this has all happened before, though. And funny enough, like the battle for who's going to get paid off of something or the fear of having to pay creators is actually what led to Shang-Chi being canceled back in the early 80s. Marvel was kind of circling the wagons, as it were. That's why Doug Mensch left. He got driven out.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, that's cool.
That
And
is
it's
pretty
from,
cool.
from the comic year 2 that he did. And the cape, there's no arms under there. The cape's solid, but it comes off and you can replace it and peg in his arms and put on a actual mixed media cape.
That's dope.
That's cool.
Nice.
I think I might actually pick up the McFarlane Deathstroke. It's pretty sweet.
I can.
I know you guys don't care, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
I care.
I care. I care that you care. That's about
Mark,
as much as I care.
that talk
We care a
after,
lot.
That talk after your stream the other night was pretty awesome. I gotta say.
You're welcome. And I want to break your heart real quick because Carlito, I know you're like a Deadpool or a Deathstroke completist. And,
I'm not Rob Liefeld, so I don't like Deadpool. But
yeah, I've got this. Where is this at?
Oh, I've got a Rob Liefeld.
This death metal #3, the album exclusive, and it's got him on the cover right there. So
well, I have never seen that, dude.
I know you haven't.
Holy crap, that's awesome.
Can you knock on that, Mark?
How much you want to sell that for?
Mm.
Yeah, you just message me. You're
Yeah,
good.
you have an extra kidney. I never know when I might need it.
Well, I was born with 2, so I got. You only need 1, so
Yeah.
I'm
I've got 2 good ones, but if I can get a spare one, I might plan on living differently.
Hey guys, I gotta bounce out. I'm gonna go finish watching AEW.
All right, Mike. I appreciate you hopping on.
Bye-bye.
We got to hop out of here as
See you
well.
later, Mike.
I got
Later, guys.
a weird day tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to get to bed a little early. I work, then I don't work, then I go back to work. I'm not open, but I still have to go keep animals alive. Yeah.
That's the problem with animals.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
whole God complex.
Yeah. Dude, I appreciate y'all hopping on so much, and everybody who's in the chat watching, I appreciate you guys. And if you're watching on the rewind, thank you for staying through to the end. Be sure to go check out everybody on the panel. We're all putting out content pretty much, and you can find Carlito if you look hard enough. He's on other people's channels. So.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Dave. Check out Dave's channel. Check
I
out
guess we want
Chip.
to talk Dark Ages real quick because why not?
Who's read Dark Ages?
Me.
Okay, let's talk about how great Marvel has bounced back.
Pause. Ryan has read Dark Ages, so take it away, Ryan. Let's get you.
Let's hear this.
Yes.
Oh, I did. I thought
I hit the wrong button. I was going to solo on it, and I missed it by half a
It's
minute.
an accident.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Excellent setup. A little disappointing we didn't really get into the world at all, but I also don't know anything about it, so I don't know if this is like a mini series or an ongoing or what it is. But
it's a mini series.
Oh, okay. So I mean, it was cool. I kind of wish we had gotten a little more into the actual Dark Ages world instead of just teasing it at the end there. But overall, I enjoyed it. I thought the scene with Spider-Man digging his daughter out and everything that was pretty touching. Pretty cool stuff there.
So I thought they did good instead of getting into the world of the Dark Age, but wrecking the world that you assume exists. I thought that was pretty cool. It's Tom Taylor, so I kind of went in with expectations on this. I'm like, dude, I expect to see some violence. They better wreck some shit, and they did.
So it's not as good as Tom King's Batman, then, is what you're saying?
It's not comparable. They're 2 different animals.
It's
2
better.
different writing styles.
It's better.
I don't know what you're looking for. You're not going to hear me down talk either one of those writers. They're both in my go-tos. So, but I read different stuff for different reasons. So it's like
Ryan hated Tom
bread and
King.
butter pickles, and you have dill pickles. One's not better than the other. But what do you eat?
Butter pickles
Bread and butter
gross.
is terrible.
See, y'all aren't pickle connoisseurs, though.
Oh man,
I was surprised that
that's
Iron
like
Man
sweet
scene
pickles.
wasn't
Those
in
are
there.
nasty.
Dave, did you get a chance to read it yet?
No, I didn't read it.
You definitely check it out. This is going to be really fun. So basically, by the end of it, what they let you know is we're going steampunk Marvel because there's no electricity. So you're talking like steam-powered Iron Man. Peter's got mechanical web shooters on, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun.
We don't know where it's set, right? We don't know what.
How many issues is it going to be?
I just hope not 12.
Hold on, let me show.
It's
let me
sort
show
of
Peter.
Is it a Tom Taylor 12-issue special?
I don't know. The last
I thought it was 6. I thought I read it was going to be 6.
It's sort of a Black Label what if sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a what if without being labeled what if.
So they killed off Ben Grimm, killed off Doctor Strange, killed off Sue
Scarlet
Richards.
Witch. Scarlet Witch.
I really like the
Vision.
image of Doctor Strange whenever they show the zoomed out shot and you just see the ride going through.
Oh yeah.
That was a great panel.
The interior artist Ivan Coelho did a fantastic job.
It was definitely my second favorite read of the week for sure.
Well,
yeah.
I just read Geiger too. Geiger was.
Yeah, it was all right. They spent more time in that focusing on what's coming down the road than bookending this one strong.
Yeah, there's an 80-pager coming out soon, right?
Yeah, but that's all looking back, every bit of it. There's going to be like no forward content in it. It's spotlighting like 4 of the mob bosses, Junkyard Joe, his dog, the 2-headed dog, and it's a puppy when he finds it. It's a lot of looking back. But they're supposed to be expanding the Geigerverse. You know, they show you like a map of other projects, and I'm sure that they're rolling out Junkyard Joe next, and then I guess depending on how well these do, they'll continue doing other ones. But it did answer Ryan and I had a question of how well will this book release, because we knew that they turned in 6 issues before issue 1 hit the shelf, and this is Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, so traditionally they don't work well with deadlines. So we got to issue 6, and they actually said this is the finish line. Yes,
they play into their own weakness, you know.
Yeah. So they're not. They said deadlines. We're dodging those.
Right.
I don't get that choice either. I don't feel like Junkyard Joe is a very interesting character. But what they're going to be doing is, if it works out, they're going to be going back in time. Like pretty much, Geiger was like a future character. And they're going to be exploring the bigger picture of the Geigerverse, which is not Joe Glow or Geiger. It's the unknown war, the whole thing about how it happened, what is it, who set it off, and all that. And Junkyard Joe, we're going to be going back in time and seeing from his perspective and stuff, events that were going on, and so on. Like none of the different Geigerverse characters are happening in the same time. It's different years, different eras. So there's going to be some kind of malevolent evil in behind the curtain that is going to be kind of slow rolling out is what I think their plan is.
Mark, what's the best Superman comic to read right now?
Right now, whatever Phil Kennedy Johnson is touching, anything that he is touching, Superman is amazing. Tom Taylor's taking over Son of Kal-El, which is good, but it's it's only so like I don't know if him and PKJ talked or whatever, but they just go hand in hand, really.
Yeah, I would suggest either of those.
I wasn't asking you, Ryan, but thanks.
I like to insert my opinion where it's not needed.
No kidding.
Texas.
Keep it up, Carlito. You're gonna bring him out. You're gonna bring him out.
Where does this tension come from between these two?
Between who?
Between you and Ryan.
I just like picking on a couple people. Tyler and Ryan, that's about it.
Okay.
I feel like I have elite status.
I mean, yeah, that's sort of. Not Tyler, though. You do, but Tyler does.
Chip, did you pick up any new comics this week?
I didn't. I haven't made it out to the shop yet. So
Dave,
probably go tomorrow.
No, nothing. No, I haven't picked up a couple comics in a couple of weeks now.
How do you guys do it?
Well, I go to LCS's and they decide, Wednesday afternoon they're not going to put out comics until Thursday.
What?
Thursday?
What?
Yeah. So I did that in my last haul video. I mentioned I went there Wednesday afternoon. You know, they're open at 11, 12 o'clock. The UPS guy doesn't get there until 1 o'clock. So she opens up the boxes and, we got to fill our poll list members first. And then we'll see what's left. Like I'm there for an hour and a half waiting for books, and she's not going to give me the opportunity to look at them. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to dig through the back issues and I'm going to leave, and I'm not going to come back till the following week. So,
wow. Do you have a pull list, or do you just grab what you're looking for?
I just grab what I'm looking for, and that's it. You know, and if they don't have the books out, I'm not buying books. I'm not going to go chase another LCS to find books for that week.
Yeah.
Hey, so can I ask? Sorry, did you and Kevin kind of coordinate bringing the slabs together last night? Like,
yeah, we did. He brought up the idea because his birthday's tomorrow, and I was like, all right, we've been trying to get together for a while just to go out and have a beer, and it just happened to work out that way. I was like, all right, let's bring our slabs out. I was like, I don't bring my book out, out of just to bring it out of my closet for any reason, but I'll do it just for you for that one time. And we'll take a picture together and have a beer, and that's it.
We're like touching chip with them.
That's a great JSE cover, by the way.
Nick, what did you pull this week? What was one of your top reads for this week?
Well, I did Dark Ages and Geiger. I look forward to. Something is Killing the Children. It's kind of keeping me rolling a little bit. Like I look forward to where they're going with that one. I have no idea what's coming out this week. Like what's the big hit? Oh, it's Nice House on the Lake comes out this week.
Yes, it does.
And I guess
Last House on the Lake. What?
Nice House on the Lake.
Oh, Nice
Number
House.
4.
It's the comedian this week too, is it not?
It is.
Yes.
I had a list somewhere. I think I used the list as packing labels. Yeah.
Well, I still haven't read this yet. I'm looking forward to reading this. This has been decent for me.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna get the trade of that.
Worth it. It's worth it.
Read of the week for me was by far, and it's weird they're coming out back-to-back weeks here, but Infinite Frontier number 5, they got pushed back, and then number 6 comes out next week. But that was a banger. That was good comic book writing, story development, just delivering, just holy balls. That was good. Next week is the finale to it that I'm sure and hoping and praying just leads into the next thing that just keeps building this epic foundation of terror that's coming to the DC universe.
My read was Layla Star that wrapped up perfectly.
Dude, I heard that from a bunch of people.
Yeah, that was good.
It was a beautiful ending to a story, is what I've heard.
So poetic. Yeah.
Ooh, that
And yeah, Chris, I wasn't ignoring you. That cover is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But also, I'm specking on it for Spider-Man.
that Molina Batman 112 cover looks nice this week.
Is anyone hyped for Fear State?
Yeah, I want to read it.
Yeah, I was the whole time for this whole Madden shirt story. I've been excited about the little intros with Scarecrow. It's like the best part of anything that has been going on. And now that we're here, DC's kind of screwed me over. They announced right before Alpha came out that Williamson's taking over right after this. So now I'm just like trying to look over the fence to Williamson's run. Like I'm just ready to get there now. They kind of got me eager for the next thing, which I'm sure this should be pretty decent because we're going kind of horror with it, and that's more in the wheelhouse than, as I call it, the neon fever dream we've been living in with Unsanity Collective and all that crap.
Hey, is Suicide Squad ongoing?
Yes. So you have Suicide Squad, the annual, which is going to be important to the readers out there. And then I think Suicide Squad Get Joker also comes out, issue 2 of 3 of the Black Label.
Yeah.
So the annual is supposed to be diving into the mystery of Superboy being on the team, how he got there, why he's there, and what's the deal. Is this even the same Connor that we've had the whole time? The main title is going to be a blast because Ambush Bug just got recruited, and he is the OG Deadpool, breaking the fourth wall, goofball. Like this, you don't see enough of him anymore, but that's going to be a fun issue.
Yeah, I think the cover of the week for this upcoming New Comic Book Day on Two Cool Guys topics, Mark picked Infinite Frontier 6. There's a 1 in 25 Puppeteer Lee variant cover of Darkseid. It is freaking fire. It could be the best cover of the month. It's fantastic.
He's done one of those for each issue, like spotlighting Rory as the Black Lantern,
right?
Thomas Wayne Batman. They're gorgeous. They really are.
But yeah, I had some trouble finding it, but when I finally found the image, it was just like, oh my sweet Jesus! I just want to put this over Mark's face and just leave it there for the entire video. It is fantastic. It's just a beautiful piece of work. Something you would see from Alex Ross. So Puppeteer Lee really upped his game with that particular Darkseid cover.
Yeah, his artwork is very haunting. Like you can go to Bulletproof Comics, and they do a lot of stuff with him. And check out some of their death metal covers that he did. They look like just works of oil paint art.
Yeah.
What is that? 6? That's the 1 in 25. I'm gonna try to pull it up. It's not easy to find for some reason. That cover's being held close to the wrist.
Go to our chat and you can swipe it from our chat there. I put it in there.
I'm already on it.
Okay.
Yeah, they
I found it off eBay.
They don't show it on Midtown.
No, I found
Midtown previews.
I had to go to eBay and swipe it there.
Ooh, and that Nakayama Annual 1 cover looks good too.
Yeah. But
Green Lantern.
I finished. I don't know if you guys even bother reading it, but I finished Sinister. Yeah, see, look at that. Dark Side is
That's dope.
Who did that?
Puppeteer Lee.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Kind of just got like a Delotto feel to it a little bit.
Yeah, almost.
Oh,
A
speaking
little bit of
which,
art germ, a little bit of Delotto. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Nick. I know.
did you see that Selwyn cover? That Selwyn book, the Delotto cover for Moon Knight 1 that he was selling?
Yeah,
The white version cover? Let me see if I can find it.
it's pretty sick. Can we just take like 10 seconds to talk about the Deathstroke Inc. coming out this month? That's going to be the best.
No.
There you go. That was 10 seconds.
What the heck? It was like 3
Everyone's
seconds.
getting it tonight, man. Everyone.
Like 3 seconds.
Does anyone know the premise of that book, the Deathstroke Inc. thing?
Yeah, he's basically tired of being by himself and how the stupid writers have made him lose a lot lately. So he's going to go basically on a team and kind of like what they did with Batman a little bit a while back. And yeah, except it's going to be like a team of assassins kind of.
I don't think he's a team player.
Nah.
He's a guy that you go and hire when you can't do it yourself.
Yep.
Because he doesn't need anybody.
He has his own agenda.
It's weird the people that you have like Black Widow on the team. Is this just out of spite to Ollie for working with the Checkmate group, or I don't know? It's weird. Weird premise in my mind.
It is, but I think Josh Williamson's doing it. So
yeah, but he's also doing Robin. So
well, yeah, that's true. Ryan, have you ever read any Deathstroke at all? Ever?
Comics.
Probably
not.
No, I don't think so.
It's
not
all right,
like
dude.
him by himself.
Yeah.
I've seen him in stuff, but no.
I'm not a huge fan of the premise. I'm not gonna fake it. But there's some sick covers though. That Ken Lashley Virgin is sweet, and then the Matina cover is pretty dope too that you showed me, Mark. So I'll be ordering that, no doubt, for sure.
Yeah.
But as I was telling Nick earlier, I've kind of went on a spending spree this week, so I'm trying to throttle it back a little bit.
I might follow it digitally at best, but I'm definitely not picking up hard copies for it.
Yeah, I hope it's more of like a mini series or something, and then he gets back to his own.
DC's been doing really great with a lot of
Deathstroke Inc. is going to be ongoing.
Oh man!
Oh really?
Yep. Yeah. I just looked at the ad in Fear State Alpha. I'll show you guys.
Oh
again.
man. Well, I'm hoping it doesn't do well, and they only do like 12 issues. And
They've been killing it with their mini series, though. Like I don't know why they're trying to expand out now and do more ongoing. It doesn't.
I was gonna say, like they keep greenlighting a lot of ongoings that just don't really make any sense for an ongoing.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's gonna do very well ongoing.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
think
it's
the
Joshua
Robin
Williamson, so who knows, man? Who
Yeah,
knows?
ongoing September.
Gross.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah, Williamson with Howard Porter doing the interiors.
I get having your primary flagship titles being ongoing right now for DC. At least keeping your flagships
Yeah,
ongoing.
Deathstroke's not really a flagship.
Well, especially not Deathstroke Inc. Isn't it?
Yeah.
But then you can always have like this series just lead into another. Like I do believe that Infinite Frontier is going into like this multiversity style mini right after. It's just going from one mini to another. It's kind of like how Tom Taylor took the Earth 2 run and took it to the Outworld's End run. You know, you just change gears slightly, do another self-contained story, and just see where it takes you. You know. But that's a pretty cool format to do. It makes collecting them a little bit easier, less bogged down. I don't know. What do I know?
Teen Titans is good though.
Oof.
Or Titans, I'm sorry. The show.
Oh, the show. I was about to say Teen
not the
Titans.
book.
Teen Titans Academy needs to step it up and be focused with Red X big time.
Just Titans. I keep forgetting that's what HBO Max is.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot. This last issue was cool getting a spotlight and spend some time with Babs. She's tough.
Yeah.
But guys, I am going to cut it off now. We are at 10:30 exactly in real time over here, so I'm going to wind it down and get to bed. I appreciate all you
Only
guys.
9:30 real time.
Right.
And I appreciate all you
Mark
guys,
is correct.
especially Carlito. Yeah, thank you guys.
Awesome. That's twice, baby.
Yes, man, I'm horrible at goodbyes. So what I'm going to do right now is just let everybody know that I'm Mark, but we are Legion.